Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders for preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom. And this is a news article recently from the Market Watch published by James Rogers of yesterday at 2:53 p.m. of January the 31st or January the 30th of 2023, I believe. And it reads, PayPal joins IBM, SAP, Spotify, Google, Intel, Microsoft, Amazon, and other major companies, laying off thousands of people. And it says Market Watch. First take, PayPal has joined IBM, SAP, Spotify, Google, parent Alphabet, Intel, Microsoft, Coinbase, Cisco, Amazon, Salesforce, HP, Roku, Yan, Meta, and Twitter, and announced major layoffs in recent months. And it says more than 75,000 global technology sectors employees have been laid off in the first few weeks of 2023 alone, according to data compiled by the website layoffs.fye. And here's a look at the list of big names across a number of sectors that has been cutting back their workforces. PayPal Holding Incorporated is cutting its global workforce by approximately 2,000 full-time employees, or 7% of the company's total workforce. Chief Executive Dan Schulman announced the layoffs in an email to employees. This reduction will occur over the coming weeks, with some organizations impact more than others, he wrote. While we have substantial progress in right-sizing our cost structure and focusing our resources and our core strategic priorities, we have more work to do. Schulman said in an email, we must continue to change as our world, our customers, and our competitive landscape evolves. And it seemed like a lot of that got to do with artificial intelligence, because it kind of seemed like there's going to be a point in time they're going to try to have they're going to try to have robots to replace humans as being employees. But that's just a side note, even though we've been hearing that for quite some time now, but I guess they just probably just doing continue a major layoff and restructuring their company or something like that. I guess due to the economics of it, and it has to do a lot with the stocks and markets and the values of these companies and stuff like that. So I just want to add a note to that, but I might be wrong. But then again, it has to do with the money's revenue globally, financially, and with the stocks and the markets of these big name companies, of the stock values might go down, up or down. And then this has a lot to do with a lot of revenue and a bunch of layoffs of employees, as they revamp their whole company and stuff like that. So that's why you're seeing these major, especially in the tech industry, a lot of employees being laid off It might be for some other reason, but I'm not quite for sure though. So it has to do with a lot of global economic of revenues and shares and stocks and bonds and stuff like that. So I definitely for sure has a lot to do with that as well too. So I just wanted to make a note on that. If it's not 100% true, but some of it is true based on that. It says while we have a substantial progress in right size, our cost structure and focus our resources on our core strategic priority. We have more work to do. Showman said in the email. We must continue to change as our world, our customers, and our competitive landscape evolves. PayPal will continue to hire strategically this year, spokesperson Amanda Miller told Market Watch. In August, PayPal announced a cut and cost initiative, saying it was targeting at least 1.3 billion in savings during 2023. International Businesses Machines Corporation is cutting 1% to 1.5 of its workforce. The cuts of amount of 3,900 employees. IBM Chief Financial Officer James said in an interview with Bloomberg, which was the first to report the jobs cuts. And it says layoffs were not mentioned on the conference call to discuss the IBM's fourth quarter results. The spokesperson, the cuts were mostly related to a spin-off and the sales of IBM Watson Health unit, resulting in a 300 million charge in the first quarter. SAP is cutting almost 1,000 jobs, many a restructured efforts when announcing its fourth quarter results in business software marketing, making it undertaking a target restructure in 2023, focusing on strategic growth has an accurate cloud of transformation. The restructure program will affect some 2,800 employees at the end of 2022, which passed already, because we're in 2023 right now, currently modern day. It says the Waldorf German-based company and 111,961 employees globally. Lam Research, Silicon founder, equipment supplier Lam Research Corporation said it will cut its global workforce to 7% or 1,340 employees by end of March. The cut does not include separate reductions to Lam's research temporary workforce that saw 700 people being laid off at the end of December of last year. The cuts research reported results of the quarter of end of December 22nd, 2022 gives the decline of wafer fabrication equipment spending expected in calendar year 2023. We are taking proactive steps to lower our costs and structure and drive effectiveness across our global footprint while preserving critical RD and CEO Tim Archer in a statement. With these actions, Lam is focusing on accelerating our strategic priorities to capitalize on the semiconductor instructions long-term growth prospects. It says Spotify in a filing with the Security and Exchange Commission. Spotify Technology said it is reducing its workforce by above 6%, which translates about 588 jobs. Bloomberg News originally reported that the streaming music service was planning job cuts. In the end of the third quarter, Spotify has 9,808 full-time employees globally. The Stockholm-based company estimated that it will incur approximately 35 million to 45 million, 38.1 million to 48.9 million in service-related charges. The job cuts comes after Spotify slowed its pace of hiring last year. Last June, Spotify CEO Daniel Ek took employees that the company would reduce its hiring by 25%, according to the Bloomberg and CNBC reports. Spotify lays off at least 38 employees in its Gimlin archives podcasts until units in December. In recent years, Spotify has spent massive accounts of podcasts, which has weighed on the company's margin. The podcast spending has yet to deliver profits throughout the last year. Ek predicted a meaningful increase in profitability in a couple of years. In its SEC filing, Spotify then that are part of a border reorganization. The company's chief content and advertisement business officer Don Ostroff will depart. It says Google, a parent, Apple Incorporated, has announced plans to cut approximately 12,000 jobs globally. In a blog post, Alphabet and Google CEO Sundar Pichai describes the layoffs as a difficult decision to set up for the future. And it says the fact that these changes will impact life of Google's, which heavy on me, and I will take full responsibility for decisions that lead us here. He added, like a number of other tech giants that have major layoffs recently, such as Microsoft Corporation and Meta Platforms, Apple expanded to meet demands during the pandemic era, but now is confronted with a difficult economic situation. Pichai said over the past 2 years, there have been periods of dramatic growth. To match and fuel that growth, we hired for a different economy reality than the one we face today. Let's see. So yeah, this is a whole list right here. I'm not gonna read all the rest of them. So yeah, this is and yeah, some of these layoffs were from 2021, 2022, and all the way into 2023. So there's been planning quite some time right now for the last 2 or 3 years, as now we starting to see the complete rollout of the release of the employees that are being laid off in these big giant tech companies in the technology field. And as you see right here, PayPal joins IBM, SAP, Spotify, Google, Intel, Microsoft, Amazon, and other major companies, laying off thousands of people. And right, this comes not too long ago. I said about a couple of weeks ago, especially the main ones that's highlighted of Microsoft and Amazon, because I believe they was laying off about like 118,000 people, I believe, in total. Like 300,000 people in total from Microsoft and Amazon. Those are the two highlighted ones right there. Now you have this new report coming out from MarketWatch. Now you have PayPal and other major companies joining in. Of the major tech companies are, and other major companies as well too, of definitely increasingly in the year 2023 of more layoffs of thousands of people in the tech industry. So yeah, definitely going to continue to see this more often, more and more, and a lot of this due to the the slow of the economic growth of the companies. Some gain solidly and some not much. That's why they do a complete revamp of their company, because a lot of these companies be invested in these stocks and markets and the revenue. If they had good solid gains with revenues and shares and the job growth. So a lot of has to do with that as well too. The growth of the company, especially when the demic a couple of years back when that came around. Some jobs in the companies had a good solid growth, a good shares, a good revenue of the companies of their shares and the increasing of hiring of the peoples and stuff. Now you're seeing a revamp of these job companies and stuff while they try to save money and of their growth of these jobs as well too. You know. So now you're seeing a revamp of these companies doing major increasing layoffs, as they mentioned at the end of 2022. And they was going to make an announcement in the year 2023, which we're currently here now, that they was going to do some major layoffs of thousands of people within these major companies, So we definitely going to continue to see that. Now I'm gonna bring it out again, as it says recently, PayPal joins the IBM, SAP, Spotify, Google, Intel, Microsoft, and Amazon and other major companies laying off thousands of people. And that has to do with the job growth. If it has a good solid job growth or not so much successful growth, and they doing a revamp of their company, that's why they are laying off a lot of people. And a lot of people that's work for these major companies, a lot of them don't get email confirmation, so they get it from news articles like this, I guess. But I guess they'll send them an email stating that they're laying off their employees that currently recently been hired or been on the job for a long time. So that's what we're seeing, a revamp of these companies due to the growth or the slow growth within 2021, 2022, all the way into 2023. You might have possibly seen a jobs growth, a good revenue growth, if it's upward or downward. So we're seeing that as well too. In the stocks and markets has a lot to do with it as well too, because a lot of these jobs and these businesses revolve around the stocks and markets as well too. If it has good solid gains or negative gains. So it has a lot to do with that as well too, but not a huge much, but it does have something to do with that as well too. Like I mentioned before, with the job growth, the revenue shares, the revenues of more money and more sales of their job growth globally around the world. That's what we're seeing as the job revamp their companies of these increasing layoffs as entering of 2023 of major job layoffs of these thousands of people that been on these jobs for a long time, and some just recently been there. I'll say for about a couple of years or a year or two, or just recently just got hired there. Now you're seeing a major companies layoffs of thousands of people as more big tech companies joins Microsoft and Amazon and Intel and Google, the big major companies, as PayPal joins us as well too. So with that, hopefully this sit down lesson was edifying. As you see, more jobs of these big tech companies laying off more people by the thousands, you know, and it's gonna increase more and more and more, you know. So with that, once again, hopefully this article of this sit down lesson was edifying that I brought it out. Hopefully of what I was talking about, hopefully I was able to get points of what I was saying. Hopefully it quite made sense of somewhat in that sort, you know. But as you see, like I mentioned again, you see these companies, especially in the tech industry, technology industries, in a increase of major companies are laying 1,000 people off, and this is going to increase more and more and more in the year 2023. You know. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders for preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom.